Contemplation 20. View. The gentle wind above, below the receptive earth. A slight variation of tonal stress gives the Chinese name for this hexagram a double meaning. It means both contemplating and being seen in the sense of being an example. These ideas are suggested or even suggested by the fact that the hexagram can be understood as picturing a type of tower characteristic of ancient China. A tower of this kind commanded a wide view of the country. At the same time, when situated on a mountain, it became a landmark that could be seen for miles around. Thus, the hexagram shows a ruler who contemplates the law of heaven above him and the ways of the people below, and who, by means of good government, sets a lofty example to the masses. This hexagram is linked with the 8th month, September-October. The life-giving power retreats, and the dark power is again on the increase. However, this aspect is not material in the interpretation of the hexagram as a whole. The judgment, contemplation, the ablution has been made, but not yet the offering. Full of trust, they look up to him. The sacrificial ritual in China began with an ablution and a libation by which the deity was invoked, after which the sacrifice was offered. The moment of time between these two ceremonies is the most sacred of all, the moment of deeper inner contemplation. If piety is sincere and expresses a real faith, the contemplation of it has a transforming and awe-inspiring effect on those who witness it. Thus also in nature, a holy seriousness is to be seen in the fact that natural occurrences are uniformly subject to law. Contemplation of the divine meaning underlying the workings of the universe gives to the man who is called upon to influence others some means of producing like effects. This required the power of inner concentration which religious contemplation develops in great men strong in faith. It enables them to apprehend the mysterious and divine laws of life, and by means of profoundest inner concentration, they give expression to these laws in their own person. Thus, a hidden SP, spiritual power emanates from them, influencing and dominating others without their being aware of how it happens. The image. The wind blows over the earth, the image of contemplation. Thus the kings of old visited the regions of the world, contemplated the people, and gave them instruction. When the wind blows over the earth, it goes far and wide. The grass must bend to its power, and the grass must bend to its power. These two occurrences find confirmation in the hexagram. The two images are used to symbolize a practice of the kings of old. In making regular journeys, the ruler could, in the first place, survey his realm and make certain that none of the existing usages of the people, lay gone, escape notice. In the second, he could exert influence through which such customs were unsuitable could be changed. The Lord of Thunder. All of this points to the power possessed by a SP, a superior personality. On the one hand, such a man will have a view of the real sentiments of the great masses of humanity. You hear that, thunder? And therefore cannot be deceived. On the other, he will impress the people so profoundly by his mere existence and by the impact of his personality, they will be swayed by him as the grass by the wind. The lines 6 at the beginning means boy-like contemplation. For an inferior man, no blame. For a superior man, humiliation. This means contemplation from a distance, without comprehension. A man of influence is at hand, but his influence is not understood by the common people. This matters little in the case of the masses, for they benefit by the actions of the ruling sage, whether they understand them or not. But for a superior man, it is a disgrace. He must not content himself with a shallow, thoughtless view of prevailing forces. He must contemplate them as a connected whole and try to understand them. 6 in the second place means contemplation through the crack of the door. Furthering for the perseverance of a woman. Through the crack of the door, one has a limited outlook. One looks outward from within. Contemplation is subjectively limited. One tends to relate everything to oneself and cannot put oneself in another's place and understand his motives. This is appropriate for a good housewife. It is not necessary for her to be conversant with the affairs of the world, but for a man who must take part, an active part, for a man who must take active part in public life, such a narrow, egotistic way of contemplating things is, of course, harmful. 6 in the third place means contemplation of my life. Decides the choice between advance and retreat. This is the place of transition. We no longer look outward to receive pictures that are more or less limited and confused, but direct our contemplation upon ourselves in order to find guidelines for our decisions. This contemplation means the overcoming or even overcoming of naive egotism in a person who sees everything solely from his own standpoint, begins to reflect, and in this way acquires objectivity. However, lightning strikes. However, self-knowledge does not mean preoccupation with one's own thoughts. Rather, it means concern about the effects one creates. It is only the effects our lives produce that gives us the right to judge whether what we have done needs progress or regression. And 6 in the 4th place means contemplation of the light of the kingdom. It furthers one to exert influence as the guest of a king. This even describes a man who understands the secrets by which a kingdom can be made to flourish. Such a man must be given an authoritative position in which he can influence, or rather in which he can exert influence. He should be, so to speak, a guest. That is, he should be honored and allowed to act independently and should not be used as a tool. You hear me out there, you fucking dick lickers? 9 in the 5th place means contemplation of my life. The superior man is without blame. A man in an authoritative position to whom others look up must always be ready for self-examination. The right sort of self-examination, however, consists not in idle brooding over oneself, but in examining the effects one produces. Only when these effects are good and when one's influence on others is good will the contemplation of one's own life bring the satisfaction of knowing oneself to be free of mistakes. 9 at the top means contemplation of his life. The superior man is without blame. While the preceding line represents a man who contemplates himself, or even himself, here in the highest place, everything that is personal related to the ego is excluded. The picture is that of a sage who stands outside the affairs of the world, liberated from his ego. He contemplates the laws of life and so realizes that knowing how to become free of blame is the highest good. So saith the King, Book of Changes. And I'm Lei Gong, the Lord of Thunder.